Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today we are back with Professor R. Vaidyanathan. Professor RV, welcome to PGurus channel.
Yes, thank you very much.
So,
And the customary introduction, I think you have to mention about subscribing, but you
yes.
feel that it is not required.
No.
The audience
I won't
adequately
say it's not required. It is definitely required. We would like you to pass on the message to other people. As we head
right.
towards elections, we're going to have some things that you will not find in any other channel or any other site. Our deep insights division, such as Professor RV, Professor R. Vaidyanathan, Professor Vaidya, they're all together. They come up with some insights that you can never get in any other channel. So, Professor RV, in one of our conversations before these 5-state election, you had mentioned that there is a definite possibility that the BJP might lose in all 3 states. And at that time, I just, yes, and then I just went on. But your prediction has been spot on. Sir, what made you predict that? And then what happened? And how do you see a way out for BJP?
Yeah, I am on Twitter sabbatical, as I mentioned. I'm working on finishing my book and other thing. More importantly, before that, somebody asked me, sir, what will be the result of the election? On Twitter, he asked me, will it be 1-2, that means losing one, maybe he implied Rajasthan, and 2, or will it be 3-0? All 3 we will win. So I wrote the tweet that my wish is 3-0, that is BJP wins all the 3, but my forecast is 0-3. And I also added a hope that wish becomes true and forecast become false. I didn't send it. The reason is, if I had sent it, there would have been lot of noise before the election. A lot of people telling this is instigated, and now in Twitter you can't have any reasonable dialogue. It is increasingly becoming less and less possible. People will say, oh, he has become anti-Modi, and then somebody will say this is instigated by Subramaniam Swami. All sorts of what I mean to say, noises are there in the Twitter. That's a different issue. Anyhow, let's come to the basic point. You see, much water has flown down the river Ganges, in spite of it getting so polluted and getting cleaned and other thing, in the last 10 years. I think we are not realizing it. Let's take one or two side illustration to highlight what I am telling. You see, when I was in college, there used to be people called, Tata Bhattacharya, Birla Subramaniam, and other. Those who joined Birlas, and then those who retired from Birlas.
For one company entire career.
Yeah, 40 years. And similarly, there used to be somebody called Shivaji Ganesh and MGR, and slightly later Rajinikanth and this Kamala Hassan, and who are acting for, I don't know, ages and
donkey's years.
Donkey's years, right? Much of it has changed now. Yeah, now most of my students, MBA students, if somebody is telling he is working for 6 years in a company or 7 years, others ask, is there a problem with you or with the company? Why are you working in a same place for 6-7 years? This is something very, very interesting. People want fast and quick changes. One of the reason is the intertemporal expectation, which I am always maintaining. Intertemporal is in terms of time points, have substantially changed in terms of the youngsters particularly. What does that mean is, Ragnar Nars, if I remember correctly, he came to India for discussion during the second 5-year plan. Somebody asked Nehru, it appears, these are all anecdotal I heard when I was doing my Master of Statistics at Indian Statistical Institute under Mahalan office. Somebody seems to ask Nehru about what is the waiting time which you would expect for Indians. He seems to have made off-cup remark or whatever it is, 5 years. People can wait for 5 years. Intertemporal expectation wise, if you ask somebody that after 5 years you will get some promotion or you will get some reward or incentive.
Significant improvement in
Yeah.
career. Okay.
So that is also related to what is called the pure interest rate. Interest rate without taking into account inflation and other thing in the economic jargon. Pure interest rate plus your inflation is risk-free rate. Anyhow, that's a separate discussion. Point is, if today somebody were to ask the current prime ministers, what would be the waiting time distribution, I'm sure he would not be telling 5 years. He would be telling perhaps 1 year or maybe 6 months. God knows. In terms of your wanting to change what we loosely, and that's the reason why those days 5 year plan was adopted because of the results of 5 year. Today it is 1 year, or what we loosely call in the jargon get rich quick mentality. Many of my students at the time of joining a job, they would like to have a house, a car, and all facilities. Whereas my father at the time of retirement, he had a house. That was one of his greatest achievements in life, that he could get a house at the time of retirement. Here at the time of joining, you see the difference, how much difference it has come about. Point I want to stress is, people who are born in 95 or 2000 in, say, a state like Madhya Pradesh, for a long period of time, they have only seen Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Nobody else. He has been there for 15 years actually. Those who are born in the 90s even, who would be 28, they would have, when he became CM, they would have been 8 years or something. Nothing significantly longer. The point is, they would have seen him only, no other person. And we have to be very clear, in contemporary Indian politics, there are three ways of looking at performance appraisal, or whatever you call it, of a government or a political party for an election. One is based upon past performance. What did he do? That's what now everybody is telling, Modi has done this, Modi has done that, and all houses are electrified, all houses have got gas, and how much of it is actually verifiable is another issue. But what was done is something which is stressed. Other is vis-a-vis expectation. What was told. Manifestos, I don't know how many people read in India, actually, the manifestos. If I remember correctly, this Bahujan Samaj Party is one of the few parties which doesn't publish any manifesto at all. And Mayawati once told, who reads manifestos? Why do you waste time? And I have my constituency, I will tell them what, that's all. They will go and put the chappa. Anyhow, so expectation, or whatever you call it, what you promised. So comparing with that also. With that, obviously, a lot of criticism is there, because the expectation was 15 lakh rupee will be deposited in everybody's account. I don't think there is any substantial proof that PM told that. But the image has been created that he told that where is that 15 lakh? Or that all the illicit money abroad will be brought back to India. Or in terms of, this small and medium industries will get that Mudra bank, and so many other promises which are actually made or perceived to have been made. One way to compare it. The third is comparing with other, what you may loosely call other companies or other countries, or, that is also possible. So, for instance, one state can be compared with another state in India, or much better would be you can compare it with Germany or Singapore. Or nowadays it's not very difficult also, given the reach of television and other type of media. People can see what is happening in other countries. Anyhow, so if on this basis, if Madhya Pradesh CM was there for 15 years, if he has to be compared to the past, most of the youngsters won't have even information about it. They would not even know how Digvijay Singh ruled or misruled. What were the crimes committed during his time and other things. They only know one person, that is Shivraj Singh Chauhan. So this has to be based upon future promises. Now, if you look at it, very interesting, not many people are objectively looking at it. What was promised by BJP and Congress, both are same actually. Nothing, shades of difference may be there. BJP has also talked about farm loan waiver. BJP has also talked about subsidies. BJP also talked about more roads, more water, more and more. Congress has also talked about the same. If you have two columns of electoral
compare and contrast,
not much of a there is not huge amount of difference or anything. Both of them wants to help the weaker section. Both of them want to facilitate the growth of minorities, and all these shades of difference. How much more you want to do for minorities, how much less. One will say that I will give computer, another will say I will give laptop. That type of what you may loosely call difference may be there. So the point is, much of these youngsters who are born in the 95, mid-90s, who have come to vote, and they are huge number. They are not very small number. For them, they would like to have a new face, and that obviously is not Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Let somebody else, something else. Let's try it out.
Should they have, in the past? Sorry to interrupt you, sir. In the past, when some chief minister is in power in the same state for 5-10 years or something, that person would get usually elevated to the center, like Narasimha Rao, Shivraj Singh, not Shivraj Singh, what other Chauhan who was there, Shankar Rao Chauhan, SB Chauhan, people like that, they used to get elevated to the center so that some new leadership would emerge for the state. Now you see that it's the same guy back and forth. So that stagnation, why has that happened? Why has that old culture gone away?
The point is, incidentally, with all humility, I have written several emails to the leaders in the party, both the party as well as the government, that a person like Chauhan, person like this Raman Singh should be shifted to center. According to me, one term is more than adequate. At the state level, upper limit is 2 terms. Upper limit. If you recall, the Jeffersons and others were
right. US presidents, right?
2 terms only. They limited it. Not that one can be there for lifetime.
So can you push back a little bit? Change the screen a little bit.
Yeah. 2 terms is the norm which has been enunciated, which is not very bad.
Right.
In other context, as you said, Congress used to have a system wherein they used to take away the people who have worked in the state level for beyond a point to central level.
Right.
2 reasons. One is they will dabble hopefully less in the state level politics, so that the state level people can come up. Second is their experience at state level will be useful at the central level.
Right.
This is also another type of a point. Anyhow, this they have not done. Showing the same face is, I shouldn't use the word irritating, but it's okay. He has done. Well, let's try out somebody new. And what Chauhan is going to do? He is going to have more roads done. He is going to give more electricity. He is more. The same thing other fellow is also. Now you can say the Congress rule was terrible in the state when it ruled earlier. But most of these youngsters would not know about it. And we also never wrote, changed any textbooks. Even that Nehru did so many mistakes come in the website only. No textbook ever talk about that the Kashmir problem is primarily one of the causes of Kashmir problem of Jawaharlal Nehru himself.
Right.
And our education minister is so proud to announce that he didn't change even a single sentence in any of So what I want to say is, to make people, youngsters, know about the problems of the past created by the other party, you should have facilitated the process of, putting this into the books and make them read. That was also not there. So what has happened in the process? They wanted to have a look at it, right? If you ask me, actually, same thing we should do at the central level also. Unless he is like a person like Manmohan Singh who doesn't have any base or anything. Everybody knows Manmohan Singh was only a symbolic person. Actual rule was done by others.
Mm.
Otherwise, I think um, two terms. I would even suggest one term. Of course, if I suggest one term in today's context, people will throw buckets of ice on me because they will think that I am telling that somebody else should be projected rather than Modi. So one doesn't want to get into. Point is, people also get, what you may loosely call very quickly tired, and they want change. For instance, an advertisement used to run as high as 40 seconds, 60 seconds, 80 seconds, another. Now slowly the time has come down. What you may loosely call in the modern jargon, the attention span of people have come down. That is what is happening actually. Howsoever great a leader you are, beyond a point, people begin to, and as I told you, people don't significantly vote for your past record. They vote more for your future promises. And much of the promises which has been done, very unfortunately, is not perceived to have been fulfilled. One of the major thrust areas of 2014, which was campaigned in 13-14, was corruption. And significant portion of the ministers were accused of corruption. Your leaders like Maharans, Chidambaram, then what you may loosely call this NCP leaders, the leaders like Kani, A. Raja, so many lists. And what has happened at the end of the day today is you find none of them have been really punished actually. So many people think this was just what one can loosely call the word jumla, pre-election stunt. So now if you again talk about corruption, right? Like some news come Varda, this Vadra has been raided and other thing. And the perception is okay. These are, what should have been done in 2014 or 2015 is now being attempted, which is too late and too small. So what I want to say is, in terms of your performance, you cannot go back to the people on these type of issues. What about achievements? Like we did more roads, we did, this gas cylinders, we did. See, these things, unfortunately, in India at least, people don't vote for these type of things because they think that these things will be given by any government. It's not this government or something. And corruption at the lower level is as higher as it was during Congress period. There is no corruption at the cabinet level, but that doesn't really have impact on the common people because if you have corruption at cabinet level but not on lower level like American system, it's highly corrupt at top level. I hope you will not mind me telling you.
Oh,
But
absolutely not. I couldn't agree with you more. Hillary Clinton lost because of
at
that.
the grassroots, at the level at which I have to interact with the cop, or I have to interact with the passport office, or I have to interact with the, this immigration. I have to interact with any number of local thing. By and large, I don't find much of maybe some delay maximum, but not corruption.
Right.
So people won't mind if at at cabinet level, some Trump's relative have made some billions, or Clinton's relative have made some billions. It's not good. It's very bad like that, they will say. But not at the, and that is what matters to common people. Here, what has happened is we have got inverted pyramid type of a situation. Cabinet level, there is no corruption. But that is being told and talked about and appreciated also by many international observers. But that's a good news for me. But unfortunately, that good news is only a good news. What is more impacting me is the corruption at my level, at the Thana level, at the ration card office level, at the water supply office level, at the power supply office level, and all these things. So this has not reduced in the BJP rule or NDA rule compared to UPA rule. It's more or less similar only. So in terms of talking about development, people do not think there is a huge amount of appreciation or anything, because they feel all these developments will anyhow come slowly, whether it is this rule or that rule. That is the second. The third is most important is what is known as the intelligence or the shrewdness of the party. They all say that it's an enormous amount of capability is there in the BJP party, which is not there in Congress, which is also not significantly borne out by facts. One is, see, Congress has taken up this temple visit of this Rahul Gandhi seriously. It is actually coming out of one of the approach papers prepared by A.K. Anthony after the defeat in 2014. A.K. Anthony told Congress is perceived to be against Hindus, which is not a good thing. This is what one of his very, very sober and very factual type of a paper, which was appreciated by the other Alva, what is Margaret Alva actually. She became a critic of Sonia Gandhi, but still. So this was, A.K. Anthony is not a Hindu and Margaret Alva neither. But many of them felt that this perception is costing Congress to some extent, and that is the one which we have to overcome. And out of that only all these temple visits started. Everybody was laughing about it, another thing. But common people, I don't think, were laughing about it. They felt, it's a good thing. After all, if somebody visits all the temples in Rajasthan, Maharashtra, I don't know how many temples Rahul Gandhi would have visited. Anyhow, so that is. So people were ridiculing it, but it was the party supporters, but not others. Others perceived that they are doing a good thing only. So this is something which is very important. So what I would rather like to say is Congress, in a sense, carried the thunder. It's undercut. As far as the people who are interested in the Hindu welfare, to me it appears they should put all the eggs into BJP basket. If you ask me, even BSP is not anti-Hindu. I do not know why many people are considering BSP also to be. I would say people can be having Hindu-mindedness, but they can be in Congress or they can be in BSP or they can be in BJP, or it's not required for it to be. According to me, even RSS says that you can be a member of RSS, but member of any political party. There is no. So this identification of Hindu causes with one party, according to me, is not good for Hindus. Forget about that party. That party can survive or not survive or whatever it is. That's a political question. Even during the time of Guruji Golwalkar, he always used to stress that you can be in any. And incidentally, there were a large number of Congress people whom you can accuse of being saffron-minded. Kamalapati Tripathi was there, then you were N.D. Tiwari. So many people were there whom you can say that they are. So this Hindu, they say build the. I do not know whether I should tell this, but I am known to be telling things which should not be told perhaps. By constructing this temple, nothing much will come out. According to me, it's a check already issued and partly honored and partly dishonored. No point in giving the same check again to the bank. Why I am telling this is, see, that mask has gone. Everybody knows about it. It has gone. And I don't think there is any chance of a mask being constructed there. No party is demanding that, incidentally, including, to the best of my knowledge, many of the Socialist Party, SP or Congress or any of them, nobody is talking about building a mosque there. If at all some fellows are telling, let's have a hospital there or a clinic there or college there or something. Anyhow, so the fact of the matter is, only a Ram temple can come there. Now the question is when rather than if. If it's a settled issue, according to me. When maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe. Allahabad court judgment has also clearly indicated that there is a need for the temple land has been allotted. And my point is, so the constructing the temple is not going to significantly alter anything. What it could do is some 7 or 8 seats in and around in UP, it might be able to save. Let me repeat it. Some maximum of 10 seats, it may be able to save. Save mean instead of losing from the current position. That's all it will happen. It's not going to have any significantly major impact on a national scale or something. Because people know that the only thing which can come there is temple, not anything else. So, in terms of fulfilling the requirement or aspirations or anything, that's not going to be a very major. And something tells me people perceive that every poll you make this a big issue. See, they were, with the majority, they came to power in 2014. So the question is, what were you doing for the last 4.5 years? Why 1 month before poll you suddenly make a Ram Mandir to be a, so Ram Mandir, is it such a big, light-heartedly it is being told every election you say that Sita's husband will get something, right? Sita's husband will get it, but actually what happened is Nita's husband only gets everything. This is the perception, right? Nita's husband, incidentally, I think right?
Sir, I have a
So
question for you. Did you realize that Nita is an anagram,
yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah, correct.
and that also denotes another significant person
Yeah, yeah, sure.
in India's corporate world?
Correct.